Welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm Nikki Wellman. The Beit haMikdash haShlishi, the third temple, or Ezekiel's temple, is to be built in Jerusalem on the site of Solomon's temple in the future Messianic era. It is architecturally described and prophesied in the Book of Ezekiel as a house of prayer for all people with a sacrificial service. Since the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, religious Jews have expressed a desire to see the Third Temple built on the Temple Mount. As a result, numerous projects have been developed to understand the concept of the temple and the workings thereof.
What happened is when the children of Israel came back from Egypt, we entered into Israel. We lived there for 400 years. And then King David thought up the first temple, which is the place where God can dwell, actually. This is the place where, if the temple is built and is present in the world, then all the plenitude of God can channel itself through this temple to the rest of the world. And this is like the world is built in a way that you have physical laws, and you also have spiritual laws. And the spiritual law of the world says that if there was a temple in Jerusalem right now, then this world would be like a much better place, because there would be no sickness, and there would be no diseases, and there would be no accidents, and there would be no death, and it would be a good, wholesome place for everybody. Since the temple was destroyed, the people of Israel are yearning that the temple will be rebuilt, because we know that when it will be rebuilt, then the world will come to a much better place. It'll be good for everybody in the world if there's going to be a temple in Jerusalem.
The anticipation of the Third Temple in Israel has stirred up many different projects to bring closer the rebuilding of the temple. One such project is the building of a music center, focusing on the role of the Levim, the Levites, and the music of the temple.
2 years ago, I went to play for a special person named Lawrence Levy in his house for a Sefer Torah. And when we start meeting together, he tell me about his idea. And I say, yeah, stop, this is my dream. And he said, yeah, now I'm building a place in Jerusalem, I'm buying places in Jerusalem that I want to make Kikar Musica, the square of the music. So I'm telling him, I have all this idea. I say, okay, give me the read. So we make appointment, and I write all my vision. And when we meet, he was like, I'm shocked. He tell me half a year ago, I sitting in the synagogue and I had this idea in my head. And I don't know how to do it. I have the money, but I don't know how to do it. And then we start working together to make the dream to put the will of Am Israel to one Beit haMikdash.
We're building a music museum in Jerusalem right now. And the music museum tells the story of music, how music was lost from when the temple was destroyed. And now, how the music has been picked up and been brought back into Israel from all parts of the world. Because people from Israel came from all parts of the world. People came from Ethiopia, people came from East Europe, people came from America, people came from everywhere in the world, from Yemen, Morocco. We came to Israel, back to Israel, and each of us brought a piece of the music. And now we're like putting the music back together, and when the music will be here, and we can sing the song of redemption again, then hopefully the temple will also be rebuilt in the same time.
And this place will be with a museum of music, auditorium that will be three-dimension movie about Saba Levi. And he's telling the story about to put the will of everybody who will see this movie. They say, okay, my Beit haMikdash is mine as well.
Israel's divine obligation to rebuild the Holy Temple remains a constant and unchanging factor in the nation's life throughout every generation.
This whole project fell into the right place in my life because this is what I want to do film. This is why I went to film school. This is why I want to make stories. This is why I want to tell the stories of the Jewish people, and what happened to the Jewish people, and what happens and what is going to happen to the Jewish people when this world is going to come into the next phase of creation, which is the days of Geulah, the days of salvation.
Well, I think that the first thing that we wanted to make sure was that the people leading the project would understand the goal, understand the emotional goal that we have with the movie, and bringing that bond in between the creative guys leading the project and the director and the client was made it easier, because having them sharing the same principle ideal of having an emotional journey made it really easy for them to move that message on to the animators working on the movie. So eventually, if the leads are motivated and understand the emotional journey the movie is taking them through, or that they need to take the movie to, they know how to get that feeling to the animators and to the designers and to everybody working on it, because again, it's about finding the cues that will make that emotion tick. You want to get the viewer to be happy and sad and just will feel the different arcs of the movie as it progresses.
אפילו שהבית שוב נבנה, זה לא אותו דבר. סוד המוזיקה.
The first thing that we had to do when we saw the script, trying to figure out what kind of style, concept design for the art. And this is what we came up with for each scene in the script. We tried to figure out what the design would look like and how can we tell the story properly.
ברוח הקודש היו הלוויים יודעים לנגן את הניגון המיוחד של כל אדם.
This film is about a character called Grandpa Levi, which is a Levite who's been living for 2,500 years, since the destruction of the temple. And now he's coming and is resurfacing to basically tell us the origin of music and how music is connected to the creation and how music is connected to the temple.
I write the music for this movie with Mark Eliyahu. The music is special on this movie because it makes the people, after they see this movie, it's different music. It's not classical music. It's melodic and harmonic with ancient instrument and modern instruments together. The visitor will come here. You see special rooms that represent his roots. And then when he finished this tour in the museum, he can experiment with ancient music. And then he will come up to the next floor of this auditorium and he will see a movie with a concert. I think all these things together, when he will have a visit in Israel, I think it's rise his will as well for Beit haMikdash. By the class that I teach about Levites and music, we know that the music of what was in the first temple and the second temple will not be in the third temple, as by the Rambam said. It will be different music. I think it will be combined music, like in the piano. The piano, on one hand, you have the harmonia, the next hand, you have the melodic. So if I will use the harmonic music, what the West represent, and I will use the ancient music as a melodic, I could combine between these two and touch in a very special place in the heart.
So now you feel after like 2,000 years since the last destruction of the temple, there's a lot of forces in Israel. I'm just like a channel that I'm experiencing all these forces coming to me, and people telling me, let's bring out that will again. Let's make people want the temple. If people will want the temple, it'll happen. And this movie is one aspect of this whole movement that's happening in the world right now. So I said, fine, let's make a movie that will actually make people understand what happened, why is it so important that the temple will be here and we'll have a temple, and in creating in their hearts the desire for the temple again.
That less than 20% of the religious people, the not religious people, Haredis people, nobody believe that will be Beit Mikdash and Mashiach. Nobody is believing in this thing. And I thought, what will make them want Beit Mikdash? So all of these years I just thought about it, and I said, the only thing that can make Ratzon, will, is if I will touch the point of Beit HaMikdash. And how can I touch this point? Yes, with music. But music make all kind of will. I always say before Odu, when we pray, say, Ibane Beit HaMikdash, Beit HaMikdash will rise, V'ten chelkenu b'toratecha, and give our part in your Torah. So the Beit HaMikdash is supposed to rise when we give our part in the Torah. So each one of us have a part in the Torah. So how can Beit HaMikdash will be if everybody will be the same? If everybody will work on the same job, do the same thing, make the same money, be the same plastic, no. It's all of kind of colors and all of them are beautiful. But each one of us have to make the best from himself. And this is our chelek, our part in the Torah, otherwise we'll be not Beit HaMikdash. So we don't want to make everybody Christian or Muslim or Jewish. We want to make each one of us special as he is. So this place is supposed to bring this hope in his heart, to say, I'm special. Yes, and I want Beit HaMikdash. Yes, I don't have peot. I don't have zakan. I am a special person. So that if I'm Jewish, I'm I don't know, Chinese, I'm South African, I'm Mexican. I'm special. And I have a part here, and it's belonged to me as well.
What I'm hoping is people will come and they'll give us about 11 to 12 minutes of their time, and they'll go through an amazing ride. So I think what I'm hoping is that to actually create within people that feeling that, wow, I want to really, really see and be a part of this new reality that we're looking on. We're looking at the days where the temple will be here, and looking at days of Messiah, the days of redemption, the days of that all the world's going to be a better place for everybody, and I'm going to be a part of it because I wanted it. And our sages, Rabbi Nachman, say it's all about the will. All you can do is will. You can't do anything really. Your actions are your actions. But if you want the right things, then you're part of that thing. You just need to really want that. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to arise, to awaken within these people that are going to come and watch this movie, the will for a better place within themselves and throughout the world.
According to the great sages, It is a positive commandment for the people of Israel to rebuild the temple conforming to the characteristics, dimensions, and attributes prophesied. However, many aspects of the temple described by Ezekiel are difficult to comprehend, since that vision contains elements of prophetic insight, which it is believed our generation does not have the spiritual or intellectual capacity to understand. A model has been created of the temple, which uses modern-day technology to guide one through the functions of the temple.
Beit haMikdash is basically a core of not just the Jewish people, but it's something that affects the entire world. At the time of Solomon, it says King Solomon, says he ruled all over the world, but he didn't have to fight. It says there's a place in a Beit haMikdash. It's called Even Ashtiyah, which is a stone that's the base of in a Beit haMikdash, and from it the whole wealth of the entire world comes from it. So Shlomo had the power to cut any lines. Let's say you do diamonds, you're in South Africa and you have diamonds, or you're in Saudi Arabia, you have oil, and if you're on a war with Solomon, basically, at any time you can just cut all the wealth and you have nothing. So basically, the Beit haMikdash was not just a place where people brought sacrifices and things like that, but it gave light to the entire universe, and people would benefit from it, not just Jewish people, but the entire world.
Thousands of years we've been yearning and praying for the rebuilding of the temple and the revelation of its hidden secrets. Today, using all new augmented reality technology, you can see and experience temple life in an incredibly striking and accurate physical model.
We want to worldwide give people the feeling, how was it in Beit haMikdash? How was it a day in Beit haMikdash? How it felt to be inside the Beit haMikdash. So we pretty much recreate a day in Beit haMikdash. That's in the first stage. Eventually, we would create a different days in a Beit haMikdash. I would say, for example, Yom Kippur in Beit haMikdash, or Rosh Hashanah in Beit haMikdash, or some other holidays, and we want to recreate these feelings as if you were there. Eventually, in the beginning, you would see it through either a smartphone or a tablet, but eventually, when glasses comes in, you would actually wear the glasses, and you would see, like you would see any other object, and you would see people walking around, people doing things inside the Beit haMikdash, as if you were there 2,000 years ago.
A unique interaction between the real world and virtual reality allows you for the first time to embark on a personal journey inside the most fascinating place on Earth, the meeting place of the worlds.
So I've been working the last 35 years in technology. I worked in mobile, and part of the things I worked in was augmented reality. And today it's the state of the art for what people want to see. So what we have done now, and I say we because I've dropped everything to go into this. This is basically it brings me back to my roots and to what's important and to my soul. And I feel that there's nothing that has touched me as much in 35 years as this project. So what this project does and what has touched me is that what our company has done is created models that are basically the best models to date, the most accurate and beautiful models of the temple. And using this cool augmented reality technology, you can take your tablet, place it over the models that we created, look through that, and walk around the model. And as you walk around it, that model comes to life, full of activity. Meaning, if you put down the model and just put down the tablet and look at the model, you see a stagnant model. You pick up that tablet, and it's like you've just gone into another dimension, and everything is taking place. You see 3D animated characters, the priests giving their sacrifices, all the things that are going on with explanation in multiple languages, whichever one you select. It's unbelievable. It's mind-blowing. There's nothing like it. I have dropped everything for this because this is the best thing I think that exists today. Between technology and beauty and Judaism and what it can do for the world, it's a perfect package.
We used a very well-known rabbi called Rabbi Menachem Makover. He's a worldwide scholar in the subject of the Beit HaMikdash. And he gave us a plan how the Beit HaMikdash was. And we did few models before we had the final model, because each time he said, no, this needs to be corrected, needs to be added, these are not the right colors, and so on, until we found, we did probably 10 models before we made the final model that we have right now.
First, we're going to be able to see the basic regular day, ordinary day that was in Beit HaMikdash, how the Kohanim would sacrifice the korbanot, and how where people would go around, and to where you were allowed to go in, and all the different rooms that were in Beit HaMikdash. You're able to see inside what happened in every room. And so we'll also be able to see the people inside, what they were doing, and we'll also have written text that we're able to see on every place, and also have audio that would explain on every place, so you could get the best feeling of what happened there, and get the best idea and of understanding of what was in every place in Beit HaMikdash.
Children today do not relate to books, do not relate to pictures. They relate to tablets, they relate to iPhone, they relate with something alive. This is exactly why we created this, is basically keep with the modern world and bring something from 2,000 years ago to life. This is the best way, we found this is the best way to teach about the Beit HaMikdash in a real-time manner.
This is the ultimate guided tour. You will actually feel that you have gone back in time, and you will experience life as it was during the ancient Jewish temple.
Well, that brings us to the end of this very special documentary on the temple. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you'd like to catch any of our previous shows, they are available for you on our website at www.spiritsister.co.za. And of course, we love hearing your comments and suggestions, so find us on Facebook at Spirit Sister Productions. As always, from me, Nikki, and the team, shalom, and have a safe and peaceful week.